Hi, everybody. This is Maggie, and this is my first attempt at this, so please no judgments. Anyway, I want to do a live Wednesday night Bible study, and so this is my first attempt. So, tonight, I just want to get stirred up. I don't know about you, but with everything that's happening with our new normal, I'm not really on top of the world. Things we used to do every day, we don't necessarily do every day now. We aren't able to see friends. We aren't able to see family as regularly as we're able to. We aren't able to go to church on Sunday morning and get that natural strengthening that occurs when we're with people of like faith. There's no worship and praise set to stir us up and get us all moving with the Spirit. Some of us find it very easy to be down, to be feeling isolated and lonely and unsure what's going on. Well, I was thinking about this the other day, and the phrase stir you up came to mind. So, as I am so prone to do, I looked it up. And there's a lot of times, especially in the Old Testament, where God used the phrase stir up, and he was stirring up one thing to be against another or whatever, or like when Christ, when the Jews were trying to get him, get the vote, if you will, for crucifixion, they got in the crowd and they stirred up the crowd. Sort of that mob mentality that we've been dealing with over the last few years. Well, that wasn't what I wanted, especially. But I found in 2 Peter 1, verse 3, or 13, I'm sorry, 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 13, and in chapter 3, verse 1, and then over again in 2 Timothy 1:6, both Peter and Paul use those words in a very positive context. And that's what I want to talk about. 2 Peter 1:13, Peter says it's his responsibility to stir us up. In 2 Peter 3:1, Peter again says he stirs up our pure or our unsullied, our sincere minds. And in 2 Timothy 1, verses 6 and 7, Paul tells us that we need to stir up our gift from God because we don't have that spirit of fear. Well, God does not give us a spirit of fear. So we're supposed to keep ourselves stirred up. Well, how do we do that? By remembrance. In both verses that I gave you in Peter, we're supposed to, by remembrance of God's goodness, his promises, his truth. Why? Because in the latter days there will be scoffers, people who walk after their own lusts and are, listen to this, willfully ignorant of the truth of God and what he has done. That the heavens and the earth are kept in store or in place, nothing's going to destroy them by the same word that put them in place to begin with, which is God's word. So, short version, there are 3 ways for us to keep ourselves stirred up, since Paul says it's our responsibility at this point. First of all, look to the Old. Look to the Old Testament. See the stories of faith that are in there where things just look like, come on, what's going on? And God came through. He gave us promises. He got people out of fiery furnaces. He got people out of the lion's den. He walked people across dry land where he had parted the seas, and those things. Second way, look to the new. Look to the apostles. Look in the New Testament and see the stories. See the life of Christ. And realize that means that his resurrection points to your resurrection in the latter times. And then look to now. Look and see what God is doing. What is he doing through you? What is he doing to you? What is he doing around you? And in some cases, like me, what is he doing in spite of you? So, homework. Well, we've got time, right? Read 2 Peter chapters 1 and 3. And if you're going to do 2 out of the 3, you might as well throw in 2 as well. See the things that Peter talks about and points out as things that we should remember that should stir us up, should keep us powered up for this time we're in. Then read 2 Timothy 1, verses 6 and 7. Write them on your doorway. Write them on the pages of your heart. Write them all over the place where you can remember that God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, even in this time, but he's given us a spirit of power, of truth, and of a sound mind. Power, love, and a sound mind. Those are the things that God gives us to get through these days. And then make a list of the things that God has done for you. By the way, that's called your testimony. And God says that's how we conquer, is through the blood of the Lamb, which Jesus took care of, and our testimony, which we have to take care of telling. Well, this is the first one. I hope I can continue. Hope it's been of help to you in this day and age. Thanks.